Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Offshore Podcast, Episode 1. Very exciting. There might be a little bit of background noise going on. Get the hatches open, or at least the companionway hatch is open. We are crushing a downwinder right now. To set the scene, we pulled up anchor there in Beaufort around 6 a.m. Or no, it was around like 6:30, and headed off, which was still really super stressful. I think it was just because I was so tired. I think that really is it. In any event, motor on down, engine, Betsy, the blue-eyed bullet, is still cranking away like a saucy beast, a youngster, if you will, for her age. I think she's older than I am, actually. No, she's definitely not that old. But in any event, motor out of there. It's nice. There's a nice little breeze. Didn't get much sleep, obviously. Anchoring in the dark is never good for peace of mind, but also it was the fact that... we just saw 8 knots. Woo! We're surfing. There was a shift in the tide, and so we did a complete 180 around the old anchor and everything. Luckily, I mean, when you're anchored in mud in 10 feet of water or whatever, you know, you put 40 feet of chain out, you're not going anywhere. Whoa, we are rolling so heavily right now. We're doing what I like to call the old sparrow waddle. I've grown accustomed to this motion throughout the years. I think when you do this around the world, mostly, circumnavigating the Southern Ocean. If you got to do it for a couple of days, it's not a big deal. I am pointed exactly where I want to go. The pancake, or is it? I don't know if it's Pancake Shoals. The shoals right off of Cape Fear, and we're gonna blow by those sometime this evening around like 8 or 9, depending on how fast we keep going. And that's my only real impediment at this point. Name of the game, get south. Get as far south as I possibly can so that when the winds shift, I'm on the southern portion of this forecasted low-pressure system. I don't even think it's really a low-pressure system, really. It's just the beginnings of it. The normal shift from, these northeasterly winds. Then it goes east. Then it goes southwest. When it goes southwest, you're on the bottom of a system, and then it's gonna move to the northeast out into the Atlantic. I want to move due east out into the Atlantic, and so I'm gonna hopefully ride those curtails. And with any luck, there won't be a massive one that builds up after it. But right now, we've got one reef in the mainsail. We have a poled out staysail. We're dead downwind, hence the rolling motion. I got the pipe wrench on the old prop shaft. That was a bit of a battle. The first time I put it on, it kind of fell off. Considered just letting her freewheel, but I just, if there's something that needs to be done, it's real hard for me to just sit back and not actually do it. Even if you're sort of thinking, well, maybe I do, maybe I don't have to do it. Maybe it's okay for like one day. I don't know. In any event, the sails are looking fantastic. I think the wind is supposed to pick up a little bit as the day goes on, which I'm hoping to throw the second reef in and see how that looks. I know what the third reef is going to look like because it's unfortunately my measurements weren't great when it came to making the sail, and this sail is almost identical to the previous one in so many ways. And Yeah, I don't want to move the cheek blocks around or the little inchworm things that compose my reefing system on the boom. I have what you'd call slab reefing, and essentially it's bowlined off to one side of the boom. It goes up through the reefing kringle, which is on the leech of the sail, back down to a cheek block that then runs forward to the winch. And then up forward, on the tack of the sail, I just have a little hook with Dyneema. And, trying to get those measurements just perfect every single time. There's 4 cheek blocks. So it's definitely, I don't know. I don't know if they just added one at some point in the past or whatever, but yeah, I just don't want to add any more. I don't want to move them around. I don't want to drill any more holes in the boom, especially the fact that I can't get my arm in far enough to put backing plates and things like that on there. I don't know. Maybe there's something I can figure out for that one. I'll tell you what. If there were one thing that I would love to get for Mighty Sparrow, it would probably be a new boom. I mean, a new engine, obviously. Beta 38. That'd be awesome. Having said that, a nice new boom that doesn't have any of the reefing stuff, doesn't have any of the winches, so that I can just start with like bare bones, brand new, and actually go ahead and put all this stuff on perfectly for this sail. So that's what I'm kind of hoping. All right, let me just take a quick gander around. I want to make sure nothing's... We don't want to be running, we're going so fast. We could run a big old ship down and no problem at all. Oh, it's almost getting warm, too. Woo-hoo! Go, Sparrow, go! Yeah, we're looking good. The only issue right now that we're dealing with as far as malfunctioning equipment is I can't seem to raise anybody on the VHF radio. But I can't raise them on either the handheld or the proper one. Now, when I click over to... I'm obviously picking up, that's Radio Rod or whatever, the moderate chop. Woo! I'm going to have to... I love listening to that Weather Channel. It's so nice. I mean, once you get far enough offshore, obviously you can't get it anymore, but it's like classic to sit there and wait for your area to come in and then, scribble down your notes so that you can actually remember what they said. Yeah, the only issue we're coming up with right now, is that VHF. And I've been calling. We have a couple sailboats around. Everybody's sort of taking advantage of this nice little breeze. And we have Puff, the Magic Dragon, which I desperately wanted to call because we actually have a boat up there at the place I work in the summer called Magic Dragon. And Puff is actually a major character in the lives of all those kids and all that sort of stuff. And I'm calling people, but I'm not getting anything back. So I don't know if nobody's listening to their VHF or if mine is not actually picking things up. I will say it is unusually quiet on channel 16. Normally between Beaufort and Charleston, there is constant chatter. It's a day after Christmas. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But I'm going to keep trying. Once we do the noon position or something like that, then I'll probably try and throw out another little... I hope the creaking of this chair isn't super annoying. I will try to bestill that noise. But yeah, it feels great. We are absolutely just flying south. Like I said, past Cape Fear sometime around probably 8 o'clock tonight. Head towards Charleston. If we have to bail out then for any reason, we can pull in there. If that is okay, the next bailout, because it's all about coastal sailing is essentially if things aren't going great, if the weather changes, if something happens, you have equipment malfunction, or if for whatever reason I just can't sleep. Traffic becomes too heavy. My mind is full of worry and panic. Well, then you go ahead and you rip into one of these places. You toss the old anchor down for a night or two, and yeah. And there's some really cool people that I would love to go and visit along the way. So we will sort of see. I'm going to keep checking in. These are going to run in multi-parts. Like I said, we're going to end up just doing a bunch of podcasts. I don't know how long they're going to be. It's going to depend on the time and the frame of mind that I'm in and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's good to be on the ocean. It is feeling great. We're ripping along. Everything on deck seems to be working really, really well. And let's just hope that not too many picadillos start cropping up out of nowhere. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Thanks for listening. That's part one. Woo! All right. Are we there? I think we're there. Nice. Oh, welcome back to the show. Trying to get settled in. We are rocking and rolling. And I want to make sure the old audio's going to be good for this one. I think we're... it's not so easy at night. There we go. Okay. I think we're good. Let's just go for it. We've just passed Cape Fear. Ooh, scary. I know. It's always brought quite a bit of, at least, I don't want to say fear into my heart whenever I pass this place, but it's definitely brought a little bit of caution. Let's just say that. But yeah, we actually I've already slept twice. Oh, unheard of on a solo journey. First night, first day. Normally, I don't sleep until at least the second day. And now here I am just crashing out left, right. Oh, we just hit 10 knots. We are still pulled out staysail 9.9, 9.2. Oh my goodness, we are just rushing it. It was kind of funny. I was thinking of my cousin Mox, Nick. We called him Mox because he was a quarterback at the high school football team and has continued to just crush it throughout his life. And if you've ever seen that lovely football movie Varsity Blues, the main character is named Moxon, and that's who we kind of nicknamed him after. But Mox and I both we sail these Pearson ensigns on a small lake up north, and one of our trademark moves has always been to kind of do the old hoot, the old ew, whenever it's getting super juicy. And he and I have had some epic sails. We've never been together on Mighty Sparrow, though, and maybe that has happened at some point. That would be pretty fun. Anyway, shout out to Mox. He does some pretty... He's actually living in, well, not living in, but he does a lot of stuff with his vehicle. And kind of cool to look at on old Instagram and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, we just passed Cape Fear. Sorry, I just woke up. All right? Forgive me. Forgive me if my brain isn't working all that well. You know, I was at Anchor last night. Barely slept at all. Tide switching. I'm outside of Beaufort. Super stressed. Engine's been having troubles. You know, easy. If I'm not the, yeah, God. And I've been listening to Bill Burr podcast. So I'm getting a little salty. I don't know. I'm out at sea. I'm salty. Oh, man. Well, in any event. I wake up and it's raining. Not only is it raining, but the winds have shifted a little bit. I'm headed further offshore, closer to the Gulf Stream. I can tell that. One, from the temperature, for sure. It's already definitely warming up. But two, from the sassiness, it's one of those pitch black nights. And, you know, honestly, it's one of those things where when I'm up there and I have blacked out everything. The AIS screen is down to minimal. Everything else is blacked out, you know, on the low key. Even put some tape over the little LED light on my Jewel. Yeah. That's how dark I want it. And you know what the nice part is? I am just seeing the most spectacular phosphorescence in the ocean, which, you know, they might not be that great. But guess what? I can see them because my night vision is super, super strong. So, in any event, I digress. Okay, the game plan. We are Cape Fear. We are just off Cape Fear. We are headed about 220 degrees on the old compass and headed for the Port Royal Sound Inlet. Because, and I don't mean to be like, that's not the right tone, I don't think. But no, I'm kind of in the mode of, well, we got kind of a bit of ugly weather coming, starting on like Sunday. And if I can duck in, that would be great. But moreover, I want to hopefully go and do a little bit of sailing with an old friend of mine, a fellow West Sail owner. And if I can do that while I'm up there and possibly visit a few other old friends in Beaufort, South Carolina, well, might not be a bad thing. And knowing, thanks Captain Bob and Adam and Jim and all these people who helped me get the old engine running again, well, now they got confidence in that. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, you know, I had this idea of this offshore adventure and, I got to go offshore, all that sort of stuff. Well, you know what? It's not really about that. It's not about being alone on the sea. It's about the adventure. And, yeah, part of the adventure might be strolling my way up. Maybe I dented my Bush Light supply while I was trying to fix the engine for 3 days. I don't know. That could possibly be part of it too. But either way, best of both worlds, let's just say. We can do a little reprovisioning. We could go up there. We could miss. It's one of those things where, no, there's three things. One, We can miss out on some rough 30 to 35 knot south winds for a day. We can visit old friends that we haven't seen for a couple of years and hang out with them. And we can re-provision everything that we lost while we were stuck at anchor in like 25-degree nights and dealing with engine issues and all that sort of accoutrement. There you go. And alone while everybody else is having Christmas with everybody. Golly. I know. It's my own choice, so I'm not getting mad. I've spent so many Christmases and birthdays by myself. I don't know. I don't want to get mad at anybody else for that because I know it's my own doing. But this past one wasn't supposed to be that way. Either way, we're crushing it. We are headed south. We're headed right for Port Royal Sound Inlet. I just did a colossal jibe. I woke up. We were like, oh, okay. Where are we at? We're doing like 9-10 knots, surfing the waves past Cape. Oh, gosh, it almost sounds like. I gotta check real quick. That freaking pipe wrench came off. Pipe wrench came off. Son of a. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out a new solution for that one. I'm telling you what. I got pillows everywhere. I got pipe wrenches coming off of the prop shaft and everything, man. Yeah, it's a bummer. I do have a new system for that, which I figured out after all these years. So I might actually be able to just throw that sucker back on. Probably because we're surfing waves in the double digits. You know, it's not so easy for just a little pipe wrench to hold on to that force. My kingdom for a max prop. A little folding propeller thingy. In any event, all right, so we're headed that way. That's where we're going. I'm super excited. It's about, 11, 12 o'clock at night, 27th of December 2024. We are juicing downwind, pulled out staysail, first reef in the main. Crushing double-digit speeds, surfing waves. This is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. I wish my tricolor worked. We're going dark. We are dark. My little light bulb that I put up there in the boatyard definitely did not work. It worked for a while. It just hasn't lasted. So I'm gonna have to climb the old mast again once I get into calmer waters. But yeah, we'll check back in once we either wake up and it's light out, or maybe when we're making our way up Port Royal Sound. So awesome. I'm tired. I think that's one of those statements that you can make pretty much any time when you're sailing solo on a boat offshore. All right, thanks for listening. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Well, it is just a shade before 10 a.m. on the 27th of December, and I think they've extended the small craft advisory. Oh, what a long night this has been. I'm sorry if there's a lot of external noise going on, but that cannot be helped. And I'm about to crack a ice cold Busch Light. Ugh. It's been a long night, folks. Long night. Not a lot of sleep. Between the traffic and the weather, it has it's been a task for sure. It was kind of funny this morning. Wait, let me see if I can sit down and not creak and groan through the seat. Let's see if we can do this. Hopefully we can. I don't know. Everything's coming to pieces. Okay. I think we might be good there. Anyway. Holy smokes! We are rocking and rolling. Seas are, I don't know, 4 to 8 feet or something like that. We got leaks. We got issues. The nav lights, our tricolor up top's not working. Thankfully, the VHF radio is. I was able to connect up with Puff the Magic Dragon, a lovely named boat, last night. So that's always good. I'm looking at my chart. It's got a huge amount of leak and water dripping all over it, which I don't know where that's coming from. Got to trace that guy down. I did just make a nice little breakfast sandwich. We've been pooped 2 or 3 times. Oh my God. It's been an adventure. And we are headed right now in towards Charleston, South Carolina. We might pass by that one, depending on how things go, and just go to Port Royal and anchor there. But either way, the winds and everything is going to change over the next day or so, and I'm so tired. I am so tired. I'm getting old. I am getting old. Oh, man. When I was a young man, I could have done this in my sleep. I would have headed over the Gulf Stream. Well, in all actuality, guess what? I did. I somehow wandered into, and again, you know my qualms with the forecasting of currents and Gulf Stream information, and how myself and Matt Rutherford, shout out Ocean Research Project, shout out Single-Handed Sailing Podcast, check that one out, it's awesome. How really, useless most of the information about the Gulf Stream actually is, as far as the direction and speed. Well, I'm cruising, and it's just after sunrise, and winds blowing 20 to 25 knots. We're getting pretty juicy. Double reefed main, pulled out jib, or pulled out staysail. And then all of a sudden, bam, we get pooped big time. Oh, jeez. And, fills the footwell and all that sort of stuff. And oh, jeez. Woo! Man. See? Holy smokes. Things are falling all over the place. We can get this ship in shape. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta I got to unclog the scuppers, all the debris from the yard and stuff like that. I reached down to grab all the gross stuff, and I'm like, holy cow, that water is warm. Water's like 78 degrees, whatever, maybe 80. I don't know. My hands, they're pretty used to super cold air now. But I was like, holy cow, we must be in the Gulf Stream, or at least in an eddy of the stream. And I'm kind of looking around. I'm like, holy cow, these waves are actually, they're breaking pretty aggressively. So I doused the staysail because we were sailing pretty much wing on wing all night and doing really well. We hit 15 knots at one point, which was awesome. Golly, I think the winds are starting to taper off, but the seas are still pretty confused, which is why you're not feeling the motion that I'm feeling right now, but right now it's kind of ridiculous. It's we're really deep broad reach. I have the pulled out staysail and 2 reefs in the main, both on the same side, on the starboard side of the vessel, and so we're still rolling quite heavily, but not as much as if we were headed dead downwind. The glory of sailing. And it's raining intermittently. In any event, so we get pooped. I'm sort of like, what the heck? And I realize, this water's super warm. So we're in like some sort of eddy of the Gulf Stream, obviously. So, douse the staysail, pull it out on the other side, head not all the way up because I don't want to be beamed to these seas. Learned my lesson about that. I'm going to broad reach the other direction towards the west, and within, 15 minutes, the air temperature drops, the splashing of the waves, the color of the water, everything changes. So I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, we're no longer in whatever eddy we were in. Oh my God. It's a boat. This is a Sparrow. No, it's not Sparrow's fault. Sparrow's just waddling, doing its thing. We are crushing it speed-wise. Let's see what the old speedometer says. Oh, 6.8 knots. Pretty sure throughout the night we probably averaged like 8 knots. And I meant to really like baby our re-emergence to the ocean. Oh man, did I just break something? No. Okay, I didn't. I didn't. I wanted to come out in, decent weather, and it looked like it was going to be fine. Forecast didn't really call for anything more than 18 knots or something like that, but whatever. Either way, the sun is starting to poke through those clouds. I'm so tired. Oh, Lord. So, my game plan, hopefully, is to just keep riding this. There was a lot of traffic last night, too. There was a tugboat cut right in front of me. Some 1,000-footer somewhere. Man, 1,000 feet. Wait. Juice in there. That was a good one. What did that get us up to? Oh, yeah, 11 knots. Whoever said a west sail's slow? I don't know. You're crazy. In any event, we are juicing, heading in towards the entrance for Charleston. Whether or not we pull in there will dictate, or will be dictated by how I feel in the next 5-6 hours. Like I said, it's 10 a.m. and I kind of have one of those like where I, pulling up. Oh, geez, Louise, and anchoring somewhere would be awesome. Just to be able to just sleep. I think there's an anchorage right there by Fort Sumter. And then maybe go see trout, the landfish, a.k.a. Aton. And maybe do another podcast with that young fella. And I don't know. We'll have to sort of see. Everything's kind of up in the air at this point. I'm not going to lie. I'm not making any real good life decisions at this point when I'm this tired. And the weather is this uncomfortable. Oh! Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, man, I'm glad I got that on. Most of that noise just came from my kettle. My kettle went from the counter into the sink, and yeah. So in any event, maybe we gotta pause this podcast for now and check back in when things are a little bit smoother. All right, I'm going back on deck. Okay, welcome back to the show. Jeez Louise, we are in Charleston, South Carolina. I have been on the phone with so many people in the last 20, 30 minutes just to sort of reach out and bring my mental state back to a, I don't know, somewhat normal state, if you will. Holy cow. That's what we're going to get into. I think it's worth talking about this topic of mental abilities and health and all that sort of stuff at this point, because I am as close to deranged as humanly possible at this moment. And I figure before I crash out and fall asleep here, it's definitely worth at least trying to dive into or dissect what is going on in my brain right now. So a little recap is definitely worth it, I think. So from Thanksgiving, which was back in, as every human being knows, back in November, I have been waiting and sitting on the old Mighty Sparrow while she was on the hard for the water to come in and to be able to launch, to be able to sort of continue forth with my plan, which was to go out sailing for a couple of months. And, honestly, I really wanted to go across the Atlantic and back just to get a nice bit of sea time in and, get back on the horse, if you will, but also just enjoy a little bit of living aboard Mighty Sparrow as a solo sailor. Now, it might sound it might sound like I'm kind of a crazy person right now, and that's only because I have not slept in I don't know how long. No, I do know how long. I slept for a couple of hours up north of, anchored just north of Beaufort, North Carolina, at that funky little anchorage. But unfortunately, my, that one is definitely vulnerable to the tides. So we sort of flip-flopped. And when we did that, obviously I had to wake up and make sure everything was okay. So I really did not sleep. I don't even know When I try and think back to the last time I actually got a good night's sleep, it was probably pro- probably about 10 days ago, something like that. I don't know. In any event, in this sleep deprived state, which I am not foreign to, I have definitely dealt with this sort of malady, this situation plenty of times in my life, especially as a solo sailor. Holy smokes, this one is just throwing me for a loop. I don't know exactly what it is, why this is how it is, but in any event, it is what it is. So we're trying to sort of deal with it. But yeah, after sitting on Sparrow in the boatyard pretty much by myself, thank goodness I was able to meet some other some other sailors, i.e. being able to in person meet Trout, the landfish, and also meet Brett and Marissa and Patrick and Michaela. Check out their YouTube channels because they're awesome, and their Patreons. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It was one of those things where there was a bit of loneliness going on there, obviously in the boatyard, and having the idea of like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna set sail December 1st, we're gonna go, and then that just not happening, not only for days but for weeks, and finally being able to launch the boat just before Christmas, and then setting sail, quote unquote, just before, I think we set sail on the 23rd or 24th, but then running into the engine issues and sitting at anchor by myself, trying to figure out how in the heck we could keep this ball rolling. I don't know. I think somewhere in the midst of all that, my brain got all screwed up, and I was trying to, I don't know, make sense of it all in a lot of ways. And I've just pulled into Charleston because finally, after a very sleepless night at anchor in some odd little spot just north of Beaufort, and then setting sail into what appeared to be a lovely day, and it was. We definitely had some epic sailing all day, all night. I think we'll get into some of that on the previous, or you will have heard about some of that. It got enough. It got full on enough for me not to be able to just pull the microphone out and everything. And I still feel like the entire world is just moving, and I know we're safely tied to a lovely little dock here, which it just brings me back to the trip that we did aboard a lovely vessel named Prima. And we sailed from Charleston we sailed from Beaufort down to Charleston and surfed waves at 15, 16. I don't know what the max speed was on that boat. But, and we're actually tied off at the exact same marina that we tied off to on that trip as well. But in any event, yeah. I was out there and everything was pretty much all good. I knew that the weather was going to change pretty quickly, and I was trying to fight my way as far south as humanly possible before this next low pressure system came up. But I don't know, somewhere along the line last night, I started thinking to myself, I probably should go in. I probably need to get some actual sleep. My brain just didn't really seem to be making a whole lot of sense to me. And I know that as much as I kind of am just like, hey, let's just grip and rip and let's go out there and let's sail across oceans, no big deal. Let's go around the world. All that sort of stuff. Because believe me, I mean, when I was sailing downwind, right outside of the channel, I'm thinking to myself, man, let's sign up for the Golden Globe, all that sort of stuff. Well, part of the issue is that I think my brain just goes into turbo mode, and then there's a point where I get so exhausted and so tired that suddenly my brain goes into like protective mode of like, hey, yo, let's stop messing around. We got to get to a place where we can go and sleep. And I think I was there last night, but unfortunately, as the conditions sort of deteriorated and, we were definitely in like a small craft advisory or whatever. It's not a big deal by any means, but we started to get pooped by waves, and we started to sort of see, I got on the edge. I think I was in an eddy of the Gulf Stream. We had one wave that pooped and filled the entire cockpit up with water. And when I went down to clear out the scuppers, I realized that this water was really warm. And I was like, well, jeez. Okay, if we're not in the Gulf Stream, we're definitely in an eddy of it. And we weren't that far offshore, maybe 50, 60 miles. I don't really know. I can't remember at this point. But yeah, I was like, oh, well, this is kind of stupid. What am I doing here? And, it's because it's blowing 20, 25 knots out of the northeast. And, obviously the Gulf Stream's right there. So in any event, we turned pretty much due west to get out of that area. And it wasn't very long before all of a sudden, like, air temperature went down. Definitely water temperature went down. Everything, we were sort of back, and the waves calmed right back down to normal, like 4 to 6 footers. So in any event, yeah, Sparrow and I decided that we were going to, at first I was going to head down to Port Royal, and just go anchor out. But then I realized, I have been anchored out. I have been sitting on this boat. I haven't showered. I don't know how long. I am absolutely filthy and disgusting. And I need to just be like tied off to something safe and secure. And so I was like, Charleston, get me to Charleston. That'll be a nice, easy sail in. The winds were still good for that. I was pretty much able to just sail right in. Obviously, the motor's doing great. Wait. Oh, sorry. I got to just check. Got cooking a little pizza for dinner tonight. Yeah, obviously the motor's killing it. Everything's working really good with that. I have full confidence in old Bessie, the blue-eyed bullet. She's just beasting it out. Heat exchangers clean. Seacocks are open. Oil, everything is just really good. So that's not an issue, which is kind of nice. But yeah, I think moreover, the real deal was that Trout's here, and there's friends here in this little port, this little haven. Charleston is just a town, but the people that are here that I can reach out to and talk to and alleviate some of these stresses that I've been dealing with for so long. It seems like. They're all here. And that's a huge, super important thing. And I think that is what I wanted to really emphasize before I do go and crash out and go take a shower and sleep and just rest. Rest. R-E-S-T. Rest. Not only physically, but mentally. It's that the people we have in our lives are so important, whether they're family, whether they're friends, anybody out there that's positive and is a part of your life in the past, the present, or the future. Oh man. Oh, and right now we got Shell. Passages from the Heart calling in. I should pick that up. Oh, in just a second. Let me just turn that off. I will call her back. But she's a perfect example. You know, the people that we have in our lives, these are what make and break our world. You know, like I said, Charleston's just a town, but it's the people that are in it that make it worth coming into and being part of. A network is absolutely massive. I can't put more emphasis on the fact that all these people, they're so worthwhile in every way to reach out to talk to rekindle relationships. It doesn't matter. I mean, just talk, just call, just text, do whatever you have to do, but make sure you connect up. All right. That's all I'm saying. Thanks for listening. And another update at Anchor soon with Trout the Landfish. It's going to be awesome, everybody. I'm super stoked that I am safe and off the ocean. I will say one more time, 15 knots was the max speed. So not bragging or anything like that, but I think I think I made a little video. I was like, dude, a West Sail doing 15 knots is like Comanche doing 80. Take that, Ken Reed. Fuck. Oh man, absolutely love it. All right. Have a great one. Enjoy your New Year's, all that sort of stuff. And until next time, thanks for listening.